Okay, welcome everybody to our podcast, Micro-Moment Trading / Compound Stock Earnings. Our Thursday scheduled.
He lost connection. Oh, there he's back.
No, hold on. Yeah, now there he is. There's Tim. Hey, Tim. We had a great day today in our Micro-Moment Trading sessions. Morning session. We had an incredible one yesterday. The first session yesterday had a small 2.something% loss out of about 4 trades, about half Micah's, half Tim's. Then in the afternoon session, Tim wasn't able to attend, but the afternoon session, I don't know what happened to Micah, but the hand of God came down and hit him on the head, slapped him around. He had 1, 2, 3, 4 trades for a total of 23.39%. The highest returns, all of them were SPY, 2.75, 3.03, 4 points, and then 13%. Incredible. So the day ended up great, 30-something points plus for today. Because we have those in the second session, we report them the next day. Like today, Tim had one after I left the session, but before he closed it down, and it'll be reported tomorrow. And it was a good return. So anyhow, be sure that go to our website, www.micromomenttrade.com, and sign up for the Cal Report. It's free. It comes out every Friday. It's got all the emails people send us and the responses that these gentlemen give, Randy, Tim, Micah, and all kinds of other stuff. And on that website, you'll also find out all our programs and what they cost and what they're all about, how often they're given, and all that. We're having this weekend event we only have every couple of months, and I teach it. It's a 2-day covered call meet seminar. It's going to be Saturday, day after tomorrow on the 16th, and Sunday from about 9 Central Time to usually about 3:30 or 4 Central Time each day. And this is going to be the first time I've ever done the mics. So the mics will be unmuted. You're going to be able to talk instead of have to type in your questions. You'll be able to talk. And then we're also going to have a surprise. We've never done this, that Tim and Micah, Randy are going to make cameo appearances during the course of the weekend. Now, they may be there 5 minutes. They may be there 5 hours. It's up to them. They can come and go. Anytime that there's a lot of similarity between micro-moment trading and Randy's. He even has a real close version of it. It's just lasts a little longer. And this covered call stuff. So we have a lot of people that are moving or still been with us for like 10 years, 8 years, and have been doing Randy stuff all that entire time. And they're going to continue to do that because the yields are so good and they're so used to it. It's a little slower than the micro moment, but they pique their interest with the micro moment. So you may really learn something. If you've never been to that seminar, you need to go and shoot support@micromoment.com and shoot an email to Sue Ann and ask her to, email you back and get signed up for that thing. So it's going to be fun. And again, it's going to be neat having these guys around. I mean, I do a fantastic job of it, and of course, they I'm not even going to let them screw it up or anything. So
that's good.
Okay. Let's see what else. The market is down 70. It's down. It's improved substantially. The Dow Jones is down 66. S&P is down 15.87, and Nasdaq 76. And when we started the session this morning on the micro moment trading, it was down 300 points or more. In addition to that, so it's pretty huge down. I'm going to let these guys describe their sessions, what they do, how often they are, and you make tremendous amounts of money. We're in that service. We're at almost the end of the 54th week, the end of the 52nd week. So we've been into what we call our fiscal year, our new fiscal year, 2 weeks. At the end of our first 52 weeks, we were up 5,241%, about 98.90 average per day, and we're not far off of that weekly average, depending on how tomorrow goes, for the new session, which this will be the end of the second week. So let's turn it over to let me get to Randy. Randy, I always hold him in there last, and Randy, why don't you tell people what you do and what your returns are, because they're pretty substantial. And you can look as you watch these four images, Micah, myself, and Tim. Look at Tim's eyes, because see, he's real creepy, and he's actually doing trades. That's what he looks like when he's doing it, because he's trying to act like he's not going to let us know he's doing anything. And then Randy's over there, and he does trades too during this, but he's
You're
got
having some connection issues.
Yeah, his room is sort of darkened out. You can't see him very well because that's how Randy's a man of the shadows.
Yeah, stay in the shadow. I'm like the unknown trader.
There you go. And Mike,
the window is, the sun's too bright out there, and I can't.
Yeah.
I can't get the shades any less, so I got too much background light.
Now remember, you can type in any question you want us to cover today. We're going to be in about 45 minutes. And multiple questions, you're not limited to any particular one, and we will comment and answer back to you. So why don't you take a run and start off here, Randy?
Okay, good. As Joe said, I do multiple things. First off, all of the different techniques that are taught throughout the years by micro moment trading, whether it's covered calls or momentum trading or leaps or credit spreads or micro moment trading. I know all of them, and I do all of them. Like every week, there's hardly one of those techniques that I'm not implementing for some kind of income. And so Joe mentioned a couple of the ones that I actually teach right now. And one is the Advanced Charting Platinum service, where we look at momentum trades. And so momentum trades are like micro moment trading, but slow. So micro moment trading is on steroids, right there, in and out, 10 seconds, a minute is a long time, where momentum trading is more like a day or two in the position before it's closed out. This week, didn't do any momentum trades because we're looking for the rising cycle, the beginning of the rising cycle based on the proprietary advanced chart, and everything was going down, and which was really kind of fortunate because the market's been going down the last couple of days, and it dropped pretty significantly. So we weren't in any positions in the daily momentum trade positions. In addition to that, I also teach covered calls in the Covered Call Platinum service. Now, each of these services is a live in the market coaching webinar that's being recorded at the same time as it's being live. So we're actually going through the techniques. Everything's rule based. So we have a whole set of rules. So we go through the rules. You can see how they're implemented. And typically we find positions and we go through those. In the Covered Call Platinum service, in addition to the Advanced Charting Platinum, those sessions, after they're recorded, they're sent out as an archive. So you can watch them over and over and over again as many times as you wish. Even if you're not there live and in person, you can still watch the archive and still take advantage of the training and learn the processes. And everything at Micro Moment Trading is to teach you how to do the trading. And Tim and Micah do that fantastically with the micro moment trading, and I do that with the covered calls and the advanced charting. And so that you learn step by step by step. In addition to that, you get to watch how we're doing our own trades. So you hear and listen to Tim and Micah during the day while they're doing their trades. And when I find a position and I'm putting my own account in the covered call service, then I send out an alert that says, this is what I'm looking at. This is what I'm getting ready to do. So you can follow along in your paper trading or your virtual trading account and do everything step by step as you learn hands-on, basically getting to look over our shoulders to see exactly what we're doing. So in the Covered Call Platinum service this week, we had another great week last week. So the market goes up and down, but covered calls are appropriate because we do in the money covered calls. So that allows the stock to go up and we get called out for a profit. Being called out means we get all of our invested capital back and we keep the profit. The stock can go sideways and we get called out. We get all of our capital back and keep the profit. The stock can even decline because we sell in the money calls. It can even go down and we get called out for all of our capital return and a profit. So the positions that I closed out last week, and I'm basically in the positions for 1 to 5 days, a week down to as little as a day.
Hey, Randy, hold on just a second. Hey, Michael, would you mute your mic there? Because we're getting that.
We're getting the feedback again.
There you go. Thank you. Okay.
Okay, so last week, Roku, 33.3% return in less than a week. And that was only 75 cents per share invested. The VXX, 2.2% with only 90 cents a share invested. GILD, which is Gilead, the one that has that remdesivir drug being developed, 11.1% with only 90 cents per share invested. IWM, 31.5% with $2.28 a share invested. Disney, 11.1% with 90 cents a share invested. GoPro, 21.9% with only 41 cents a share invested. And SPY, 9.8% with 91 cents a share invested. So these aren't huge amount of capital that has to be invested. So even though the underlying equity, like IWM, is trading in the 200, what is it right now? $120 range. Roku's in the 120. Gilead's up there in this $70, $80 range. Disney's in the $100. So they're high in the equity itself, but because we're doing the advanced platinum techniques with the covered calls, instead of buying the equity, we're buying an option that lets us sell an option against it. So we're leveraging our capital and only having to use a little bit to still get fantastic returns. So all of those were called out last week, and that's the goal of doing that. So even today, so I always like to say what I do with Tim and Mike is technique. On the micro moment trading this morning, and I think I'm done with micro moment for the rest of the day. But I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 micro moment trades this morning on SPX. So I use the SPX index.
Yeah. And
my total return was $3.40 a share just on one contract. So that's $340. That's 12.2% return for the day on 6 different positions or 6 different trades.
Yeah, and that's why it'd be important that you're going to be participating this weekend, because people can because I know lots of people, they've been doing it for years and years, still use your techniques and still subscribe to your service, and they probably hadn't thought about also increasing everything with the macro moment, but you're doing it, and so that'd be a good segue to get in there. And Randy, these are real trades he's doing in his own account, and you're getting when he thinks about doing them, when he does, and when he gets out of them, you get those notices. So
then I was watching the charts this morning. So I finished doing my micro moment trading, and then I switched over to do a covered call. So I actually implemented a covered call on SPY this morning, and it's already up. It was trading at 277-ish when I entered it, and now it's at 280, almost 281. So that's going to be very deep in the money. That return, if it stays above 278 tomorrow, that return is going to be about 70% return on that covered call entry this morning, when the charts started bottoming out and they looked like they were starting to rise again. Even though the market was way down, I implemented a covered call on that position. So we'll see how that one goes. If it doesn't stay above 278, then we just manage it. And we have what we call management techniques that says if the equity drops significantly, we don't sell for a loss. We keep the position going and manage it, generating income each week while it's coming back up. And eventually it comes back up. The market doesn't go down forever. So that's the good part about the covered call process.
Okay, Randy, I want to come back to here. We got a couple of comments here. Number one, Ed, who had the first comment. Hey, Ed. Ed says, "Hello, everyone. I like many others, almost blew up my account, but eventually learned my lesson." And now, what he means by that, we stress this, so it's so important. Randy's technique, the covered calls and leaps, has a lot of rules. There's a manual, 300 pages, 400 pages thick. The Tim and Mike on their microphones have no rules. One rule: have to get out of a deal early if it turns red, and that's the only rule. And they're in transactions, and maybe they're in for 15, 20, 30 seconds, and they're through. They got the money back. It's over with. They only work about 5 hours a week, doing those sessions about an hour a day on those sessions. And then this is what Edward's talking about. It's natural. Everybody does it. They don't follow the rules when they start off. Now we just have one rule. So Edward, he only got one rule, Ed, and you violated that one rule. But you did it. So now he says he learned his lesson. The account value now is up 11.5% yesterday, 12.5% today. That's in one day. So you get 25% here. It's up 23.65 for May. Incredible. And he says thanks. And Ed, thank you, and thank you for coming on here and giving us your comments. And because that's what we talk about all the time. You just have to follow the rules, and particularly it's only one rule on micro moment trading. And and then Peck says Randy mentioned last week that he was doing micro moment trading with SPX. I looked at the options chain and noticed that the spreads were very wide, 15 cents or more. How do you micro moment trade with that kind of a spread? Go ahead, Randy.
Well, first off, that's because the options are like $29 and $28 and $27. So it's not comparable to like the QQQ or SPY where the options are $1 or $1.20. Then you need a really, really, really couple of cents at the most spread. When the option is $29, then 15 cents is almost nothing. And it moves 40, 50, 60 cents on a jump. I mean, that it'll move that in a second, and it'll go down $1, it'll go up $1, it'll go up 2. And so 15 cents is quite simply easy to overcome because it moves large scale based on what you're seeing like with QQQ or SPY. So 15 cents is actually a really small spread for SPX.
Yeah, Randy's segment of this. I mean, he teaches everything you need to know. If you don't like fast 20-second deals, if you got stocks you have now, you never sold a covered call, it's like owning an apartment and you're not renting it. If you own stocks and you're not selling covered calls because it's pure income and you control the thing, you'd have to do something crazy to lose money. But take an existing stock and start making it produce money. And if you have dividend stocks, substantially increase the return above your dividend because of the technique we have, which we're going to teach this weekend. It's pretty brand new, and Randy will be teaching that this weekend. So you got something for everybody. If you don't like to, do fast trading, you got Randy's, and even Randy's has modified his micro moment trading, old man style, and he even gets in and out of those in relatively quick time and makes incredible returns. You've heard him talking about the returns. So in our book, Covered Calls and Leaps of Wealth Option, it's all in there, and you can buy that book, Amazon, any number of places. And we have a special charting book that you can buy also on Amazon. Now, let's see.
The Dow is green.
It is. It just turned green, 37 points.
And the SPX is on its way. So
yeah.
Hopefully that was a bottom today, and maybe we're starting to go back up. That's good.
So anyhow, Randy's he's been doing this now 17 or 18 years with us. We've been doing it a little over 20 years. And a lot of people, follow Randy and been doing it for years and years. It's just amazing that it's just really amazing what you can do with all those techniques. And Randy, last comments? I'm going to turn it over to Tim, I guess, and Micah.
No, just watching the market turn green. It's nice.
And we answered Peck's question, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Martha says that she loves afternoon sessions. It seems to be my best time to make my big trades. Thanks for coming back. Martha, we call her 10-cent Martha. She just does one transaction after another and makes 10 cents profit just one after another. I don't know. She probably makes $1.50 a day. So it's just incredible. So, okay, Tim, look at that grin on Tim's face. He's done something. He doesn't want to admit it. I can tell. Okay, Tim.
Yeah, I just did a call. Did 4 cents on a call here a little while ago.
Yeah.
He's been riding that wave all the way up. Probably.
Yeah.
Okay, will you be sure to send me when we get finished here? Would you text those to me again?
Sure.
That way I can get them in for tomorrow. So,
Absolutely. So, unlike Randy's technique and amazing results that Randy gets, our technique is pretty simple. When the chart is right, when everything lines up, we get into a trade. And if for some reason that trade turns bad, we get out immediately. And that's our number one rule is get out. Red run. When you see red run.
Well, let me give you an example here.
Yeah.
Of how important that technique is. You get out quick because you don't want a big loss, because you said you can make by accident 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 cents on trades all day, but you don't want to wipe them out with 5 and 6 and 10% losses. So, example on Mike today, he had 2 losses on SPY. The first 2 trades of the day, 0.0067 of 1%, 0.0142 of 1%. Those are great trades. I mean, when you master it, and you get those kind of trades, a bad trade when they go bad, then you can't go anywhere but up. It's just huge. So that's the whole thing.
Yep.
Prasad, I think that is. When is the next cover call course? Well, we have that seminar this weekend. Now that is not necessarily. It is a cover call course, but Randy, do you think that means a cover call course you do, or what? Or is that just the weekend?
Well, this weekend is Joe's teaching the 2-day cover call. That's where you begin.
Yeah.
That's where you learn all about what is a cover call, Joe's way, not the way the market does it, but it's Joe's way. And you get all the basics, and you start to learn how to buy a stock and sell a call and generate weekly and monthly income on that. So that's this weekend.
Yep. It's interesting too. Everybody heard the name Warren Buffett, and Warren Buffett started off very young man investing, use cover calls, and his still main source in the marketplace, other than owning properties, is selling puts. And he goes out and he decides there's a company he wants to buy. He goes sells puts, and if the price comes down, he gets it a lot cheaper than what it was when he could have bought it. And if it doesn't, then he gets a lot of premium income. And he sells. Can you imagine, Tim, his orders? He sells a put by 15 million shares of a put or something.
Must be huge. I just can't imagine. He's what we call a market mover.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, Joe, selling a put is basically doing a cover call.
Selling
a put is an in the money cover call. So he's kind of doing what you're doing. He just does it on the other side.
Yeah.
But in addition to that is once you get the basics of a cover call and you want to take it to a new level, that's when you can participate in the cover call platinum service, and that's teaching every Wednesday morning for 2 hours, sometimes 2.5 hours. I like to talk a lot, and I do a lot of teaching, and that's the webinar that's recorded, and you can watch that over and over and over again. So you can just keep learning all along the way and get the weekly teaching instead of waiting for the weekend.
Yeah. Again, if you're using Randy's methods, you have one stock you keep for the rest of your life. You don't have to eat. It used to be one expiration a month, third Friday of each month. Now they have them every Friday. We used to, when he started, we were trying to get 3 to 4% a month, and that would turn $10,000 into $3 million in 10 years at that one-time rate of 4 or 5% a month. Now you can get that a week. It's absolutely incredible. And
Joe, I know one person that owns some Apple stock, and they just keep selling the out of the money calls and generating income every single week. Hundreds and hundreds of dollars a week of income, and never really having to sell their stock. They learn. You can learn that technique this weekend, and learn how to sell that out of the money call for a stock that you don't really want to sell to still generate income.
Prasad has a question here. What is the website to sign up for the weekend CC seminar? From Joe. Prasad, send an email to support@micromomenttrading.com and say just attention Sue Ann, and give her your phone number, your email address, and she'll get you taken care of. And again, support@micromoment.com. Attention Sue Ann. Take care of it. Oh, now what are you laughing about now? Another trade?
Yeah. I just did 13 cents on this push down on Q.
Gee, incredible.
I love it. This Tim is man.
Yeah, but let me get back to Randy for a second. Again, it's important to realize that I don't care how old you are, how long you've been trading. He does, if you trade like your great granddad did, he trades that way too. Except he's got a better way to trade that way, and because he's renting that stock, he's making money every single day renting that stock. You're not. If you own that stock, you're not renting it. Again, you own apartments and you're not leasing. So anyhow, okay, Tim. Now these guys have a session. We call it a session. It's usually about an hour, 8:30 Central Time when the market opens to around 9:30 Central Time. Sometimes it goes 9:45. And that's what we call the first session. If things are warranted, they'll come back for a second session later on, an hour and a half before the market closes. And they've been racking up these huge returns in these second sessions. And like I said, Michael, 30 some odd % just yesterday in the second session. And then Tim, the day before that, did about the same thing. So,
well, we discovered something. Actually, Mike has been tracking pricing and picked up on something huge this morning, and that is we've moved into higher price strikes, which deltas are moving much better and much faster, and it's just been working. We've been racking up these double-digit gains on our trades, and it's been amazing.
Okay, here's a question for you guys. Tim, Mike, Prasad again says, what trading platform are Randy and Tim using for these fast executions?
Yeah, I'm on Thinkorswim myself, and
I use.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I use two different platforms. I have Schwab and I have E-Trade. So you can do it on any platform as long as you're good at manipulating through your platform. It's not anything unique to one or the other.
Yeah, you can do this on any of the platforms, and you can do this. You can do these trades in 401ks and IRAs, whatever. You wouldn't be doing it in a 401k because it's going to be a company related, and somebody else probably going to be doing it. But you can certainly do it in IRAs. There's no problem. All the trading platforms have the tools you need, and of course, most of they have some kind of surcharge, but they don't have commissions anymore, which makes it easier too. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, we've, as you said, the afternoons have been great. We've had these long extended legs, generally on the put side of things, that have been going off this afternoon. Yesterday we had some incredible legs, really both ways, down and up, that Micah just killed yesterday afternoon. I had to head to an appointment, and Micah kept trading and did some amazing stuff yesterday afternoon. And this morning we got some early gifts, some early long push downs this morning that, combined with the higher strike prices, has really given us some amazing returns this morning. So we're real pleased. But what we see every day, if you wanted to be absolutely the most conservative trader for micro moment trading, every day, SPY and Q, Microsoft serve up 4 to 5 long leg, long pushes. Generally, we see in the put position, but you wait for these big moves to come across, and they're recognizable because the tick just keeps going in one direction. You can do quite well just on those 4 or 5 trades a day, just waiting for those big major pushes. and literally you could be blindfolded and go into those when they start and do well. So, it's what we do it's a simple technique. It really is. It's a simple technique. I know there's a lot of numbers on the, on the screen, but we're only focusing on a couple of them and watching our charts, which give us a little edge in terms of momentum about what's about to happen. And it's simple.
Yeah, and the common key with both these techniques, Tim and Randy's, Micah's, is that you don't care which way the market's going to open. You get, see the early morning reports. Somebody say, "Oh boy, your 401k is going to take a big hit today," or something. You don't care. We just want it to go one way or the other. And the worse it is, like when the market was down astronomically yesterday, the street was complaining. The reason it was down astronomically, there was so much volatility. Well, that's what we thrive on. We want that volatility, but we can take it going up. We can take it going down. So you don't sit around philosophizing, is it going to be up or down today? John asked, does Randy still do the Thursday evening webinar? I don't think you do you?
Yes, I do.
Oh, you do? Okay. Yes, he does.
And the Thursday evening is more geared towards the learner, the beginner, the one that takes Joe's 2-day seminar, starts to learn what is a covered call. And so I have an hour plus coaching session on Thursday evenings that you can ask all your questions, and every week get additional coaching and training as you learn through the process. Now it's also part of the Cover Call Platinum service, so all of the advanced people get to attend that as well and ask additional questions. So you'll get a little taste of what a Platinum service is at the same time on Thursday evening, but you can just subscribe to the Thursday evening coaching session, and that's recorded again. It's live. I'm doing it live, and you're there being able to ask questions live, but it's also recorded, so you can watch it over and over and over again and take advantage of that training week after week after week.
Now, Randy, I've got one here I'm going to read. I'm not going to ask you to read it because it would be so embarrassing. And it's from Mr. M. Randy's amazing. Oh, Lord. Sounds like a Micah now. So are the rest of you guys, too. But Randy has been around forever, that's for sure. He's always been consistent, considerate, even-tempered, with the patience of a saint. And then he says, shows you a little saint face there, and then he says, ... not to, and he quits talking. So I was suspecting he was going to say, not like you, Joe. But anyhow.
Not to mention always profitable.
That's right. And he says, if Mr. M says, mention it, he's always profitable. So let's Frank has this one for Tim. Tim, how much are you charged for a round trip on the option trade?
Well, we restarted the Thinkorswim. I had transferred back to Thinkorswim after a while on TradeStation, so our commissions are a little high now. We're at the top of the commission structure right now. We'll whittle that down, but on my personal account, I pay 25 cents a leg, so I pay 50 cents round trip.
Okay, that was Tim. We read that. How much are you charged, right?
Yeah.
And M. Evans happens to be Marion. She's in disguise. And she says, it's me, Marion. Let me tell you, Marion's been with us. She remembers Mandy when he was born. I mean, she's been with us for so long. And we used to have these downtown Dallas City Club. We used to have these seminars every couple of months. And be 50, 100 people there, 150 people. And we've had so many lunches and dinners with Marion at the mansion in Dallas that I'm surprised that we're both still alive. So anyhow, Marion's really good. She's been with us a long time. So have I missed any messages over there? Say, well, here's one. It's from Passard again. I agree with the platform comment. Just looking for how the closing trades are set up. Do you set up closing when you open positions or watch and exit? Is that when you answer there, Randy, with that?
Well,
that would be more for like Tim and Mike. Mike, what do you got to say about that?
Do you want to put it up, Marcus?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't.
Yeah, but exactly. when you enter a position, you put a closing trade in immediately after that. So Micah and Tim can talk about how fast they do that, but I do it as soon as I get the position filled. I
Yeah.
immediately put an order to close it because it can move that fast. You don't want to miss that move.
So the only delay for setting up that order is partial fills, right? If you got a partial fill and you send an order at the wrong quantity, it's going to get rejected, confused. You're going to have multiple orders open as you try to fix it. It's a mess, and it gets you stuck in and stressed out, and it sucks.
Yeah.
So all there is to it is when you put your buy to open in, you're going to fill what you're going to fill, cancel the rest. That's the step, right? Enter, you get what you get. All right. If you don't get it all, that's it, right? This is your entry, right? So we cut the rest of it unless we get fully filled, which we have been a lot better at this pricing. Immediately when you get that fill confirmation, you're setting depending on the move, depending on the day, if the whole day is moving big, you might go for a 5-cent profit, maybe 3 cents. You send that limit right away. You got it sitting there. If anything, happens, if it turns downwards, if it really starts to take off and you think you can get more of it, then you'll go to adjust that order. You can cancel and replace it. You can adjust the order itself. You can do that in plenty of different ways. But the main thing is to have your quantities correct and then send that right away. Yeah, right as soon as you're sure you're filled.
Yeah, and there's another factor there. The reason we want to do our sell to close as quickly as possible is we get in the queue, we get in the market maker's queue, so we can get executed faster that way. Most people, or a lot of people, wait. They watch the number, watch the option chain, and then decide to get out. Well, everyone's trying to get out then, and you may not get out of that trade. So we want to be at the top of that list, which we do, which is why we generally get why we generally close pretty quickly.
It's a lot more complex than this, but at baseline, the way to think of it is it's first come, first serve.
Yeah.
Right? And just because the price is at 220 doesn't mean everybody's guaranteed to fill at 220, right? If the price is at 220, that means that Steve Jones wants to sell his 100 contracts at 220 right now. Mm-hmm. But he only has 100 contracts and he's just one guy. So it is a very first come, first serve type. I mean, there's a lot more to it again with routing and all the complexities, but I mean, in functionality, that's how it works. If you're there first, you get filled first. So.
Yeah. But there's thousands of transactions going off every second. So Yeah. But still, I want to be in front of everyone if I can.
There you go. Okay, you have a bunch of these. I see the questions on the right, and some people are answering their own. You can do that, so I won't go in there. But so Frank is saying, based on the descriptions of the charges, about 76 round trip. Would that be pretty much an average?
That's what you get towards. You walk in a little bit higher.
Yeah.
And
it's when you're looking at spreads, you want to calculate that in as well on your micro moment trades, right? Because if you go on you have a 2 cent spread, you got to make up that 2 cents. If you're at the top of the list at 65 cents, that's another 1.25 cents that you've got to go. So you've got to get to 4 cents before you're solidly profitable. So keep that in mind.
Okay, we got a few more minutes here. It's 1 minute till 11:40, and our time's about 11:45. So we got about 5 minutes. If somebody wants to ask a question, you need to do it now. One thing too, I'd like to mention, nobody ever asked about this, but your proximity, have you say that, to where these trades, the big computer room, somewhere these trades are being made. And it's changing. Firms out on the West Coast are moving to Dallas-Fort Worth, the center of the country. East Coasters are moving to Dallas-Fort Worth with their big data centers. The reason is it does make a difference. It's a fraction of a second, whether you're on the East Coast or West Coast. And our charting has an option there: West Coast chart, or East Coast. So if you're on the West Coast, use West Coast. You're on the East Coast, use East Coast, whatever. But we're right smack dab in the center of everything, where all the firms are moving to. So, like Mike is out there a little farther away than most of us. He's up in Seattle, and Tim's in Atlanta, and Randy's in Atlanta, and I'm in Fort Worth. So Randy's sort of, his trade takes some kind of fraction of a millisecond more to execute than ours do. So, but evidently, and they're coming up, the higher speeds on these internets now, and it's going to really make a big difference. It's going to make it easier to do the trades that we do, because we do rapid trades, and but we're not the most rapid, but it's going to be easier and easier. We couldn't do this a long time ago when Randy and I were doing these things with a dial-up, and you couldn't possibly have been done. And when E-Trade first came on with their very first, where you could do your own trades, you had to phone in, and you had to do it on a touch tone phone. And that was the biggest mess I've ever seen in my life.
I can't imagine.
So the platforms have gotten so much better, and they make it so much easier. And now you can start use this technique, and go virtual. Your virtual account, which is not the exact same thing as a real account, but it's doggone close. And when you get good doing virtual, you're going to be good doing the real thing. They usually give you $80,000-$100,000 in your account.
Go.
It's just what's wrong?
Oh no, we just got a nice big push down going on all three.
I just caught a big old rip off of that and sent it to you, Joe.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's Tim's special chart setup right there.
Holy moly.
The tick going down through M1 and through the lower bones.
Yep.
Again. That's Tim's max burner, just warp speed trade right there.
Yeah,
that's it.
Before I was interrupted with a rude interruption based on making money.
Sorry. Sorry.
Again, you can learn all this, not risk a penny, and then when you're ready to go real, you go real, and because it is simple. People have a tough time understanding that initially. And Jiminy Christmas, Mike up there silently just did a deal.
That was a good trade.
Microsoft from 168 to 190. That's what he got there. 190.
Yeah, it's already up over $2 now.
Wow.
And that was from 8:39.15 to 8:40.43. So that's
huge.
In 10 seconds.
Huge return.
And I didn't grab close to all of it. That was a crazy run.
Yep.
Wow. That was amazing. Yeah, that was another 12 cents.
For you too? Hell
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah.
That was good.
Heck yeah. What?
Love it.
That was 13.09% return.
Wow.
On that
So
Microsoft.
cool. I feel like we're not fighting an uphill battle.
I know. We're getting movement, getting really, really nice movement on the bid now with these higher strikes. It's really, really paying off today.
What's interesting is when you look over here, you see the Dow's down 118 points, the S&P's down 21, and NASDAQ's down 80. Those are real losses. Those people are going out there and intentionally losing money on purpose because they don't know what the hell they're doing. And they don't want to lose all their money. So they go lose in the little steps like that. They don't know if the market's going to turn around. They think that it's going to go to nothing and they're going to lose all their money. And so you just like running out in front of a car to experiment. Maybe there's a moving car coming around the corner, maybe not, and but you're going to die most of the time. And then here we're sitting here reveling and making at a real live seminar here, making profits real time. Okay, well, pretty crazy. Let's see if it got any more. Yep.
As we talk and text and do any number of other things.
Yeah. I'm surprised you don't pull out your guitar and sing a little song when you do this.
Right. Well, I've always got my keyboard next to me.
There you go. There you go. Well, we're almost out of time. So any last minute questions there? And Robert would like an example of a strike that you entered today, Tim.
Sure. Sure. The last trade I made was 220 strike put on Q. entered at 330, exited at 342. And that's actually probably the fourth or fifth trade I've made at that strike. You know, about 6 in the money on the put side.
Sorry, say that again.
I'm sorry.
Oh, but said it was at the 220 strike put, and that's the fourth or fifth trade I've made at that strike.
Oh, I thought you said 5 or 6 in the money.
Yeah, it's like 5 in the money.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not realize you were that high. What's your at the money cost?
It's what was it, 190 or 194 at the call.
Interesting.
Now, when Micah and Tim are doing their seminar session every morning, 8:30 to 9:30 Central, what you hear them talking at you're hearing them talk, okay? And what you see on the chart, or what you see on the screen, is a chart, and that chart tells you when to get in and when to get out. And they go through that in every detail, every trade, because these are real trades, and they tell you we're getting ready to enter QQQ. Whoa, I just entered QQQ. I got this for it. Whoa, now I'm getting ready to get out for this. And you see it on the chart. That's what you learn. You learn to make these trades in and out on the chart, not only with their techniques, but with a lot of Randy's also. So it's just a fantastic way to learn something, because you're seeing it, and they're talking to you live, and they're doing the trades right there. And sometimes they'll do 8 or 9 trades. Sometimes they only will do 1 or 2. Depends on what the market is. Mm-hmm. So, and Roberto is Roberto, not Robert. Sorry about that, Roberto.
He's Bob on the.
Yeah. Okay.
That's all right.
Well, I got to wrap it up. It's 11:46, and our taskmaster Marcus is going to come on here and get me in trouble. So thanks everybody for being here. Call Sue Ann, write that letter to support microphoneTrading.com. Say Sue Ann, and also what also we have here? Oh, sign up go to the website, sign up for the free cow report. And I guess that's it, guys. Thank you very much. We'll see y'all in the morning. And be sure I got these last trades so I can get them recorded for tomorrow.
Yeah, I
will do.
Randy, thanks a lot.
Talk to you on Saturday. Talk to you on Saturday.
Hey, all of y'all, Sue Ann says she's sending you a link for this weekend, and it's a organizer link. So,
okay.
Okay.
Well, she has already, or she is?
She told she's going to do it. I don't know if she's done it yet.
She will. Okay. Cool.
Okay. Y'all look out.
All right, guys.
Okay, we'll see you tomorrow morning. Thank you.
We'll see you this afternoon. Okay, bye-bye.
Take care.
Okay.
Stay safe.